Well, it's another rainy weekend. I'm spending the time that I have in my garage, potting some of my plants that I have still yet to get into the ground. Because as you can see, it's like we live in a shower. Of course, next week when I'm at work, we're going to have a string of sunny, dry days. You've got to love it. But I will say, it is very nice to sit in the garage, potting the plants and listening to this lovely rain. I don't know where all this rain is actually going. I felt like the ground was completely saturated, but keep soaking it up. But I know places are starting to flood. Not just in Oregon, but in Yellowstone. I think that's Wyoming. I think Montana. Not sure about Idaho, but yeah, people are getting a lot of rain in certain areas and it's causing some problems this year. I don't know if the garden's going to happen. I mean, I'm still doing my very best. At this point, it's really just a game of up-potting and keeping things alive. Definitely going to be on the cusp of, I don't want to say losing things, but sort of like losing productivity where things maybe get stunted. I think the onions, the large onions, the Wethersfield Reds, they really need to go into the ground. But the bunching onions, the Hashiko bunching onions, actually seem pretty robust. So those are down there. It's hard to see them in all of this, but they're down there. And like this teddy bear sunflower has gotten too tall and leggy, but the majority of my teddy bear sunflowers are really short and stocky, but they're getting root bound, so same with my cucumbers, so that's sort of what I'm working on today. You can see I've got 2 cucumbers in the same pot. That's a big mistake, so I'll probably either cut one and just kill it or transplant it into another pot. I think I might just cut it though so I don't disturb this other more robust plant, and then I'll up-pot this plant so it can get some more nutrients. You can also tell because they're starting to yellow a little bit. But that's a problem that will go away once I can get them up-potted. So these all over here are cucumbers, and these are my teddy bear sunflowers. Teddy bear, teddy bear. There's 2 teddies back there that need to be separated and given their own pots. The chamomile needs to be up-potted. The catnip. Those are my runts. And I think either the grow lights discolored the top here or it's just because they're overcrowded, but I think once I up-pot this, you can see the roots are coming out the bottom. Once I up-pot that, that'll bounce right back. And then I have 1 zucchini. That's all I have room for and all I need. And I just up-potted that one last week. And I probably have another, I want to say week or 2 in that pot. All my sage plants need to be up-potted. My basils have been up-potted into these cups, but that won't last very long, but that'll probably buy me another week or 2. Same with some of these wildflowers, the pincushion and the love in the mist in the back. The moonflowers have all been up-potted and given their own pots, so they should be good for a little while. Same with the lupin. I haven't gotten a chance to tend to these extra zinnias, but I have thinned them out a bit. And actually in the far back there, I've got some more teddy bear sunflowers and lupins that also need to be up-potted. Luckily, my main zinnias here are all up-potted from a while back, and I gave them these really tall planters. The roots are coming out the bottom a little bit, but they have plenty of room still, so these are good for a little while. And they're looking really nice. So things over here have already been up-potted, but I'm like on the cusp of wanting to up-pot some of this stuff again. My spearmints, which I have been thinning out some of the plants in the middle that were not really, you know, they get overcrowded, so you want to thin them out. the seeds on spearmint are like super small, like chamomile, so I'm trying to master the art of growing it. But I thinned it out and things are looking good, but I would like to get it into a bigger pot, I think. Same with the catnip, which I actually harvested for the first time last week, and I'll be doing a little more harvesting on that as time goes on. I wanted to get bushier and sturdier rather than tall and leggy. And then about a week ago, I was able to separate out some of my cosmoses. Cosmos. I just have a ton of those. More down there. And I even have another flat of those, another like, you can see that far corner there. And those very tiny cells, so those also need to be sort of up-potted. Everything needs to be up-potted, let's just say that. And as far as my leafy greens go, I've been harvesting off the kale and the parsley, which has been fantastic. I have 2 more teddy bear sunflowers down here. And the Swiss chard I've also been harvesting. And the Swiss chard is holding on pretty well. The kale is starting to run its course because it never had enough space to really, you know, reach its full potential. So I'm toying with the idea, just the idea of maybe replanting, but I have way too much going on here now to even consider that. So I had seeds in my hands this morning and I put them down and said, like, be real, like, you don't have time for this. You have enough plants to tend to as it is. So that's what I'm doing out here today. You can see things are flooding a little bit. Still just coming down. It's really crazy how much rain we've been getting. Over here in the front we've got the marigolds. It's breaking my heart a little bit, but I've been snipping off the buds for flowers all this time. So many buds, and they're root bound and they're ready to be planted, so I don't have it in me to up-pot all these marigolds, so I'm hoping they can just hang on until I can get them into the ground. I have been watering them with fish emulsion, so I'm hoping that helps. Over here, my peppers also are getting root bound and they need to be up-potted. It's crazy. I've got more cosmos there that should be good for a little while. My thyme, I'm going to up-pot, but I did plan to put these in containers anyway, so I just need to get them into their forever homes. I finally got a chance to up-pot my tomatoes. I have 4 of these guys. I did that like a week ago or so, and that feels really good because they need more space, and they should be good in those pots for a long time, so at least a couple more weeks if necessary. And just now I was finally able to up-pot 2 of these giveaways. This whole tray is tomatoes that I'm giving away, but I had 2 of them in pots that I didn't want to give away, so I've been like trying to get to that, and I just used these old yogurt containers. It's the 2 nicest plants actually, so I didn't want to gyp somebody and give them a crappy pot, so I gave them a nice sized pot. These yogurt containers are pretty big, and everything's been trellised and watered and fertilized, and that's going to feel really good to give those away. So still a lot going on. Doing my best to keep up. We'll see what I end up we'll see how successful I am this year, where I'm successful, where I'm not. I don't know if I have this in me next year, at least if it's like this. Last year my plants were in the ground in like, I feel like it was May, late May, mid-May sometime. So I'm like a month behind and I haven't even gotten the garden beds ready. So it's quite the question. One last thing, I made this sign. And I'll be putting that out on the curb with my tomatoes. My peas, that is one thing. I think I'm going to lose these peas. I mean, they're still alive, but they're super leggy. And I haven't been putting them outside because they've been flopping over. I don't have them properly trellised. I wasn't prepared for this situation at all, and these were meant to be in the ground like months ago, so I might just even like put them out of their misery. I don't know. It's every time I see them I get a little sad. I mean, they're still alive, so I don't know if I should just keep them in here and get them in the ground when I can, but by then it's going to be hot out, and that is not the kind of weather that they like, so yeah. So I'm going to get back to it, listening to the rain and saving what I can. And maybe in the end, maybe this will be an epic year. You never know. Maybe summer will just all of a sudden be upon us, and things will be in the ground, and maybe we'll just have a really beautiful garden. I don't know. If we don't, it's not because I didn't try. That's for sure. Okay. That is all. Over and out for now.